Hey everyone and welcome to Isle of Feathers, a brand new let's play, let's build, a brand new project here in Jurassic World Evolution 2. This is going to be a very specific build as we are only covering dinosaurs that actually have feathers in the game. As we got so many DLCs in the last year with a lot of addition of more scientifically accurate dinosaurs, I would say, but you know, technically it's not. I mean, it's still Jurassic franchise, so they are still pretty far away from the accurate representation of what it should have been a million years ago, even though I think it's very hard to say accurate anyways, because no one really knows. All the scientific knowledge is constantly changing, improving, and changing again, because obviously with everything that is found, new knowledge is gained, and hence the idea of how these creatures have looked and have been so many million years ago changes. So, you know, I think it's a hard one to say it's not accurate or too accurate. Obviously, there are a lot more scientifically more accurate, realizations at this point, but who knows how this will be in a couple of years. Anyhow, this is what we do. We are building a Malta-inspired island that is housing all the species that have feathers in the game, and there are quite some in the game by now, and I was surprised myself how many those are, and I figured, you know what, it's about time to make one area for them in which they can thrive, in which they can live, and also give this a completely new spin, which is done by having this central city over here, which is even having like a central park-ish thing, which is where the Oviraptor is having its home. And I gotta say, this has been done in the midst of my computer breaking down. So I started making this build with, I think, about 10 to 12 crashes until I finally gave up. So I built this in two major parts, the first part being with all the crashes, and I did some cuts here and there, and you will see that quite a lot of has changed in the meantime. Sometimes I just, at some point I just completely stopped recording because that's just not working. But then I was like, you know what, I'll wait if anything works, and now computer is working finally again, and I had the chance to finish this build, and I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end, not gonna lie. I needed to change a couple of things, which I have to I have to admit it still is too big for what it should be, because the Oviraptor is tiny. I mean, not as tiny as the other fellow that we will see in the next episode, but it is really tiny, and the request in this game, at least to have water, makes the habitat already quite sizable if you compare it to the size of the Oviraptor. So I would have loved to make it only this space that you can see now in front of you. I mean, playing without dinosaur needs, I could have just easily left it in there. But at the end, I was like, okay, at least something to drink for them would be nice. So I went for this version, and yeah, that's what I did. And you will also see that some of the buildings later on will have a different space, which is, again, down to the fact that we had many crashes. But I think it's still a very good showcase of how insanely well these new pieces work together. And this is, by the way, this is fully unmodded. This is, by the way, as you can see, one of the crashes happening, and boom, there we go, everything gone, and I had to start again over and over again. But I learned a couple more tricks here and there. So again, yeah, it's built completely without free build, so there are some things I have to praise Frontier for. Now, the new pieces are surprisingly generous when it comes to their hitbox. Like, usually you have like 1 square kilometer of space between two pieces because the hitbox is just so ridiculous, which is the major reason for me to use free build every now and then as soon as it's updated, which I will clearly do in the future as well. Maybe not in this series, but just in general. But yeah, as my nose is just closing and my voice is going to get more nosy, I can definitely tell you that the new pieces, especially over here, as you can see with the wall piece, they have a freaking tiny hitbox, and you can almost put them really next to each other, which is beautiful because that way you can make some natural looking habitats and some natural looking walls. Sometimes, as you can see over here, sometimes the ground is messed up a little bit, so you have to flatten the ground before you do this, otherwise you are running into some issues. But you know, that's the trade-off you have to take. Now, yeah, as I already told you guys now many times in this video, I'm quite hyped about the buildings in general. Like, not only did Frontier do a good job by implementing a way better hitbox that will be, especially for console players, a super welcome addition, because as these people are unfortunately not able to use all the gloriness of mods, they have to rely on what Frontier is going to give them, and I have to say, boy oh boy did they deliver. I'm very sad that I couldn't hand you guys over my my first impression, because that was also lost in translation, I was about to say, but no, it was lost in my computer issues. And so at the end of the day, I couldn't give you all the opinion, and it was a bit sad, because for me personally, this is the best DLC that Frontier has ever done with Jurassic World Evolution, full stop. Not only the second game, but also Jurassic World Evolution in general. So it's been really good to see all the pieces. It's been really good also to see how much they improved upon giving us better menus and giving us better pieces in terms of usability as decoration pieces. So yeah, like an overall very well-rounded package, and it just offered such a nice possibility to do something completely different this time around. I'm still not entirely sure what I think about Malta in general as an addition to the Jurassic franchise. Like, this is nothing Frontier can be accounted for, but in general, like, I had the same feeling already in the movie. Like, why Malta? I mean, it's a beautiful set, you know, and I totally get it. I just, like, in terms of like movie making, but what does this really add to the plot? Like, for me personally, there's not really a clear explanation to why it has to be Malta. Is it because Malta is very good for like a black market and it's a harbor city? I mean, if these were the things they needed as like a reasoning, you could have literally taken 1 million cities in the world, and many of those million cities would have fitted a little bit better, I think, at least. I mean, I like Malta, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. You know, at least it doesn't really matter too much, because it has been chosen by Universal, or whoever decided to choose Malta as the set location. And Frontier did deliver some beautiful buildings, and I'm really happy to build in a completely different style. So it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool, and I really hope that this is going to deliver many more cool builds in the future, and I'm very certain that the next one is going to make you guys more happy as well, because the next one is going to be with the other tiny dinosaur we got from this pack. So it's gonna be fun to see how small I can get this habitat in order to make sure that everything works, but I am confident that I found a solution to make it a little bit more tiny than this one. Excuse me. But yeah, it's been really cool to focus on getting this oasis, I would almost call it, done, this oasis city, because this is going to be the central area for the guests and for everything. And later on, we are going to open up to the other areas. Obviously, we are going to have something for the Pyroraptor. We are even going to have Rexy in the feathery version. You guys are also up to decide if we are going to include the Velociraptors of Jurassic Park 3, because, well, they are not really feathery, but they have some, like, not really feathers, but at least this was an attempt to make them more scientifically accurate. I mean, for me personally, I'm like 60-40 towards no, because, well, it's quite a stretch to call them feathered, you know. It's a huge stretch, I'm not gonna lie at this point. But yeah, you guys decide. Tell me in the comments down below what we should do. Shall we get them in or not? And then obviously we have the Dinosaurs. We have, I forgot what else we have, but we do have quite some dinosaurs that will go into this project. So I'm really looking forward how this is going to turn out and how many we have at the end, and if we may go back to this project in the future. So who knows if we are going to get another DLC at some point that is offering the same, you know, quality and the same level of featheriness. Is that a word? I don't know. Even if that's a word, it's a weird word. Please don't let that word exist. Stop it, Rudy. Okay, never mind. So yeah, at the end, this is now just putting down a couple more, you know, walls over here, making sure that the dinosaurs can't escape, just trying to really get this looking good, putting some trees and decoration here and there, just in general, you know, the usual stuff. Nothing in particular major. But just as a little heads up, we are not going to do a tour or like a real-time part. This time we will make this once this is done. As you can count yourself how many species we have in this game that would count for the featheriness park, what I'm doing over here. You can already tell that this is not going to be like a super long series, but I'm trying to really you know, build this as best as I can now to have this wonderful park. And yeah, really looking forward to it. I gotta say, I missed Jurassic World Evolution a little bit. I tried to get into it last week before the DLC dropped and the EA was given, but apparently my computer already started having issues at that time and I was getting into the struggle, so I never had the time to get back into my projects, which is way overdue as well. So I hope you guys who are interested in Jurassic World Evolution 2 in particular can bear with me. There is more coming and I have a lot more stuff prepared for you guys, but it just takes time now as my computer again was broken. You know, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's really annoying, like really annoying. Like if you find it annoying, just add 1000 to it, multiply that by 2. It's that annoying. Okay, so I can't really tell why I have that much bad luck this year. It's been the third time that I have major issues with the computer. It's been the second time that we exchanged the mainboard, and by we I mean my brother, which is good that he seems to be having a lot more time than I have, and so he can do that stuff. I couldn't. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I will find you in the next episode. Until then, have a good time and goodbye.